Hi, everybody. I see some people waiting. Good morning. I always sing song my way into the live streams. Lots of water today. Big honking thing of water. I already had coffee, so don't think that I didn't have coffee because I did. But hi, naughty angel girl. Your name always makes me laugh so hard, and I don't mean any disrespect by it. I just like naughty angel girl just sounds like, I don't know, it's just really cute. Hi Asha, how are you this morning? I feel like I need to stay hydrated. What's been happening is that I get up super early for Mondays so that I can, like, if I need to finish the reading or if I need to do anything around the house or put myself together. Hi Donna, good morning. Um, then I will have coffee when I wake up, and then I will get to the live streams and I'll want something to drink. Hi, Victoria Lynn. Good morning. Good morning. And then I will have a second cup of coffee when I'm with you guys, and I get really zoned out and spacey and jittery and for the rest of the morning, and I just don't like that. Even though right now all I want is another cup of coffee, I just don't really need it. You feel me? You feel me? So I'm drinking lots of water. Good, you're doing well. Yeah, I hope everyone's day is going well so far, whether, it's the beginning of the day for you or the end of the day or the afternoon, wherever you're watching in, whether this is the playback or the live stream. Whew. First of all, I feel like it's been more than a week since we did this live stream. No? Does anybody else feel that way? Anybody feel like a lot of time has passed? No? Maybe I just had kind of a crazy week. It doesn't really feel like it. Yesterday we went and played disc golf again. We've been doing that, and AJ came with us. Michaela had a graduation party to go to at the park that we played disc golf at. So we kind of dropped her off, and then we went to go play disc golf, and then she left the graduation and met us, and so we were outside walking around, all that stuff. My body is really like tight and sore, and I feel like I just need water and I need to stretch. I stretched before I played yesterday, but I'm feeling like so how's everybody's weekend? What's everybody doing? Hi to people still coming in. I see the numbers are still kind of going up here. So let me grab. I did grab an oracle deck that I haven't pulled from in a while, so maybe if you guys can remind me, maybe we can pull a card at the end. I pulled out the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. This was one of my very first oracle decks that I had bought for myself, and I used it all the time, and I really, really liked it. And I just haven't, just because I get all these new decks now and I want to play with those ones, and the ones that I had before sit on my shelf, which is like, oh darn, such a problem. But at the same time, I was getting my stuff ready for the live stream today, and I was just feeling a call to it. Good morning, hot potato. Thank you. I'm more like a well-seasoned sweet potato today. Oh my god, not so much a raw russet, but a seasoned sweet potato. Oh, I'm retarded. Like, what's happening? I don't know why my eyes are not focusing on your comment, Asha. Sorry. Busy weekend for me. I moved back to Illinois. Ooh, you did? Where were you at before that? Where did you move back? Where did you move back from? Heather. Heather, I'm wearing the beautiful necklace you made. Oh, and I think I'm wearing it. I'm really sporting your stuff. Heather made me this really cute bracelet, and the tassel fell off, but it's not your fault. It's my fault because I was playing with a kitty cat and didn't realize that the kitty cat was like really tugging at the bracelet and tugging at the tassel, and then it came off. So it's not your design. It was me playing with a cat. But if I was gonna lose the tassel on here, it was gonna be from a cat, okay? And then Heather made me this gorgeous necklace and sent it to me recently, and I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Oh, you were in Texas. My friend Skylar lives in Texas. You guys, Skylar is coming to visit me. I'm meeting him for the first time in the flesh in the beginning of September, and he's staying with me for like 5 days. He's coming for the weekend, and I am so excited. Like, so excited. I have never, like, I've met people in person that I've met off the internet. My beautiful friend Amanda and I now are really close, and we met kind of like through Instagram and YouTube. But it's different to have somebody fly out of state and then come and stay with me for a weekend. Like, that's kind of like a big thing. But I talk to him every single day. I adore him so much. He makes me laugh harder than anybody. I am so excited for you guys to meet Skylar because he doesn't do videos. He has an Instagram which he posts really amazing posts, but he doesn't really like, he's not very like visual with his social media as far as him goes. But I'm gonna try and vlog when he's here and make him super uncomfortable. He already knows he needs to be ready, and then we might live stream. We might do a multiple trio live streams with Imogen Walters if we can figure out the timing of it, because us three talk like every day, and so I'm just really excited. I like, the closer it gets to, the more I'm just like, oh my gosh, when is he gonna be here already? We have a lot of things planned that we're trying to accomplish that weekend that he's here, because it's also his birthday weekend. So we're planning on going and doing all these really fun things. So anyways, I don't know, I'm just getting really excited. You'll probably hear me talk about this a billion times more because he bought the tickets to come and see me. I don't even know when, but I think he's had a countdown on his phone, and I feel like it was like 9 months. So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's not like he bought this ticket a few weeks ago. Like, we've been waiting months and months and months and months for him to come, and it's like getting so close that I'm just like so excited. Anyways, I'm just really excited. Like, he'll be here on a Monday, so I haven't really worked out yet whether or not I'm gonna cancel Witchy Book Club or maybe just make it like a casual live stream where we're not gonna talk about the book or whatever chapters we're doing. Maybe we'll, do 2 weeks like we've done before, but I still live stream and kind of come on and hang out with you guys. That might be the case if we're not like super tired from whatever doing the day before. And maybe he'll come on and like live stream with me and just hang out. We can do like a Q&A, or maybe we can page in Imogen on that one or something. Hi Miller Nature. Hi to everybody who's coming in too that I haven't seen the comments for, because I'm blubbering excited about my best friend Skylar coming. So anyways, also George is playing video games and Phoebe is out and about, so there might be noise, there might be things. It's just life, All right. Shall we get into it? Shall we begin? Now, I feel a little bad because I may have been a little hard on you guys last week with being disappointed that you weren't doing your morning pages. I scolded y'all. It was a big thing. And afterwards I felt really bad. I felt bad because I don't want to force anything on you guys. I was just so passionate about the homework for the morning pages, or daily pages, we can call them. I've been trying to call them daily pages because a lot of you were saying that the mornings weren't the time where you could do it. You do it before bed or whenever you can in the middle of the day. That's fine. The morning was easiest for me. But I never want to force anything on you. Like, the homework is there for you guys to do if you choose to do it. Like, you don't have to do it to participate in these live streams. It's just something fun. It's just an added little bonus to do some work, or, to explore maybe topics that we have discussed in a different way, or to feel like you're being more interactive with this, because it's hard for me to sit here and just talk at you and read comments. Like, a real book club is people sitting around chatting and all having discussions about the book, which we do, but I am the main ringleader here because I'm the one live on the camera. So I just feel like the homework gives an added like sense of connectivity when I see you guys doing it and you post or tag me in it, or when we get together and you're telling me how you found the homework going. I just want to get that clear out of the way. Like, I never want you guys to feel pressured that you have to do the homework. It's just there. I'm going to do the homework if I assign it. If something comes up and I can't, that's one thing. But if I assign the homework, I do it. And I don't know. I felt bad because I was like really, really pushy on you guys. But at the same time, the reason why I was pushy on that specific homework was because when I did it, it was such a huge difference in my day, in my week, in my moods, in my clarity. And like, it was such a good exercise. And I'm such a big advocate of like getting rid of like, I don't have time, like there's not enough time. Like, I create time. I get up early every single day if I possibly can. There's times where I sleep through my alarm on accident. Or if we stay up till 3 in the morning for whatever reason, you know, I'm not gonna get up at 5:36, 6:30 like I normally do. I'm gonna sleep in a little bit more. But for the most part, I create time. And I know that that's difficult for a lot of people. Like if you have a young infant or you have, you know, whatever the deal is, if you have, good morning, Danielle. Good. I'm so glad that you really liked it, Heather. You know, I understand everybody's situation and circumstance is different, but I also really, really believe that we have way more time than we let on. Whether it's the amount of time that we scroll aimlessly through social media or, you know, whatever it is, watching TV or, you know, whatever it is. So if it's not the morning, then I believe that you all have time or can make time in your day to write 3 pages down. And I feel like a lot of people just didn't do it because they thought, oh, I don't have the time for that, or I don't know what to write about. So I tried my best. I forgot like 1 or 2 days, but over on my Instagram, I was, if you missed it, I reassigned the same daily pages homework for this past homework. Partially because I wanted to continue doing it, and the other way because I wanted you guys to like have a second shot at trying it. Good, Amy, I'm so glad that you're still loving it. But over on my Instagram, I tried to come up with daily inspirations on what you could write about because a lot of people were telling me like they didn't know what to do or whatever it was. Angie said I was following it along during the week, and when you forgot, I forgot too. That's what I felt like. I felt like I felt bad, but I did enjoy it and would even go off topic. Right, like I put, so on my Instagram, I tried in my story every day to give you guys daily inspiration for your pages. You didn't have to do that. It was just like, okay, if you're sitting there and you're like, I have no idea what to write about. Like, this is awful. I'm don't know what to do. I don't want to do this because I don't know what to write about. So I would give you guys a topic. I don't even remember what one of them was. Somebody help me remind. I would just come up with something to write about and put it on there. I never wrote about what I put on my Instagram story. I just did that for you guys to help you. I am going to continue this homework for next week as well as assigning another piece of homework. I just really want this to be, at least for this book, something that we try and continue. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, I'm not going to push it on you anymore. I appreciate you guys doing that. So I didn't make the 3 pages every day, but I averaged 3 pages, so I call that a win. You tried it. You get you're doing your thing to try to write, and that's really all that I ask for. Good morning. You're not too late. Come on, you know me, Whale Song 81. It's 13 minutes in, and we're just talking. That glass chinking is probably annoying you guys, but I love that sound of like the mason jar with like the glass straw. It's like, oh, it feels good in my heart. The topics you gave on Insta were really good. I wrote so much. That's amazing. Thank you so much for telling me that, Heather, because again, I just did it to help you guys. There was a couple days where I forgot to do that. I did my daily pages every single day. I've done them for 2 weeks now. I haven't done them today yet because I didn't have enough time before the live stream, but as soon as this is over, I'm going to do my pages. So I have almost completely filled up this little notebook full of all my daily pages. This has only been daily pages notebook. It's a really small, dinky little notebook. But it's, I did mine every day and found that getting 3 pages of crap out of my head each day has helped me think more about the important stuff for the rest of time. Naughty Angel Girl, I agree, which is why I'm so proud of you, by the way, A++, but why I was so like wanting you guys and trying to continue the homework and like, please give this a shot. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I really feel like it's hard to begin. Once you start getting in a groove of things, once you start making it a ritual, you put forth time for yourself. And it's self-care. It's self-care. For me personally, I was making lists, I was doing oracle pulls, I was, finding out different things about my routine bodily in the morning, or finding out how distracted I get and stuff. Um, yeah, she's Andy said she was doing 3 pages and 1 page, and no pages yet. Kind of like Dumbledore and the Pensive. Oh my God, oh my, what did you just say? You just marry me. Oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah, I really want to make a video. I'm trying to make my bullet journal video first, but I really want to make a video incorporating my old journals from my childhood. I have been keeping a journal since I was like in kindergarten. My first kindergarten teacher gave me this notebook that had strawberries all over it, and she gave it to me and my mother and told my mother that I needed to be writing, that like she found that I had a lot of communicative things, and that she felt like I'd be a really good writer and that I would benefit from journaling. So I have that original thing, and I used to name my journals, and that one's name was Rosebud. And I'm telling you guys, I've always loved roses, but I have bins and bins and bins. Like, I have notebooks that are falling apart, and I have basically like Book of Shadows that I didn't even realize they were Book of Shadows from when I was younger. I have a notebook from when I was like 9, and I went to the public library and I checked out like 7 stacks of books on witches and Wicca and all this stuff because I wanted to know what it was and I was curious. And I like wrote out all of these runes and glyphs and symbols and was like trying to learn it. And I remember reading these sections and doing all these pages. I can see the pages in my mind, I have them somewhere. And then I read a couple things from a book that I didn't really like, saying basically like you had to become like a witch, you had to, I don't even remember, but it was something along the lines of like if you wanted to become a witch, you had to do this one ritual bath that was like really crazy. It must have been some stupid ass book, you had to get into this ritual bath or whatever, all of these things. And I was like, oh man, well, I don't have the time for that, and I don't really like that. And so I guess whatever, I learned what I learned, and then I put those books aside. But I have all of these really juicy illustrations or dreams or things down from journals that I would love to kind of pick sections out of and make a video of that. Not even for you guys, but more so for me. So anyways, writing is super, I'm bringing it back full circle, and then I'll read your guys' comments. But writing has been a practice of mine that I have gotten out of super habit and been really blocked with for the last few years. Like I still do it here and there. Like if I have a dream, I'll write my dream down, or I'm constantly making lists and stuff like that. But it's not the same as taking time out of your day to just write 3 pages. It has totally brought me back to a mind space that I feel comfortable with, and that is so habitual for me from basically my earliest memories. And so it's been just life-changing for me to be bringing this practice back into my life, and I want to share that with you guys. All right, that's enough. I'm gonna go back and read because you guys were commenting a crap ton. Okay, so, oh my God, I missed so much. Okay, sorry. Meredith, hi, how are you doing today? I have no idea what this book is about, but I'll go check it on Kindle. I keep seeing this on my recommended YouTube. Yeah, we're reading The Witch's Shield. We only have one more week after this. We will be done, but feel free. It's a very interesting book. We'll get into the talk about that in a second, but yeah, I'm finding it pretty interesting. I found morning pages so helpful. I personally had been doing night pages before bed so I can clear my mind and sleep. Whenever you do it, it's fine with me. I just found that I found time, and it was a little bit easier for me in the morning when I did it right when I woke up. Danielle said, I'm the only person that has had daily pages trigger too many thoughts. I feel like maybe I need to write more pages, or I don't know. Danielle, yeah, you don't have to do just 3 pages. And if you need to kind of adjust it, obviously, I know you know this, but just do whatever feels comfortable for you. Kind of incorporate it however you feel like. But I'm sensing that if there's triggers coming up with you for writing, then that actually might be something you might want to explore more of. Um, but again, it's your journey, it's your time, it's your space. So do whatever you feel is comfortable. But I kind of feel like getting through that or figuring out why, um, or like you said, too many thoughts. Explore what or why that is. I would suggest to you, but you do you, boo. Angie says, what do you think on having one notebook for divination, tarot, oracles, and another for journaling daily? But if I do tarot entries, I didn't do daily pages. Yeah, so Angie, I kind of like to keep certain things separate, but I do have a specific notebook that I have shown in live streams before and videos before where I do my readings in, but then I have my daily pages notebook. I found that if I'm gonna do readings for myself for my daily pages, I will pull no more than 3 cards, which I normally do every day anyways. But if I'm doing a bigger reading or a more specific reading for myself, like if I'm coming up to my moon cycle bleeding time, like I will do a spread for that and I will put that in my readings notebook. Or if I'm trying to connect with a spirit guide, or if I am, trying to do a new moon spread or something, I will do those take time to do that specifically for a reading in my other notebook. When I'm doing my daily pages, I'm pulling, 1 card or 3 cards, which if it's 3 cards, it's normally like my day today, roadblocks I might face, and tools and positivity to move forward kind of cards around those kind of spreads. I won't do more than 3 cards. So little readings like that or little daily pulls, I'll pull in here. If I'm feeling like I need to do more than that or a more big specific, me personally, I like to keep those readings, those big things, my deck interview spreads, those kinds of things I will put in a separate notebook. Just kind of feel out what works for you. And then also I do have, my bullet journal and my book of shadows is together, and I just started this, and look at it already, you guys. It's like busting open. So I like specific notebooks for specific things, but I do find sometimes that like I do wish it was all together, but for me and the way that I work, I like to have things a little bit more separate. So that's a really good question. But everybody's different, so do you. That's just how I do. I stopped journaling for about a year and a half-ish. I just started again today. I did that when I was younger too, reading books on Wicca. Yeah, like I just went into we used to go into the library a lot as kids. My mom would take us there and we'd rent books and stuff like that. And I would go through phases where like I'd want to learn stuff. I was such a freaking Page of Swords and Knight of Swords as a child. But I would go in, and instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna get this fiction book, which I did read fiction, and I read a lot of fiction now. I would go through these phases where I would pick one fiction book, and then I would go into like the adult section and pick like a genre and just check out like 5 books on like whatever topic it was, whether it was like Greek mythology or I don't know, whatever it was. But I specifically remember bringing home like 5 books of like, and my mom was kind of like, why do you have to check out so many books? I'm like, because I'm learning. I'm browsing through all of these different books, and I would take notes in notebooks or learn things. I can't even remember what some of the other things. I'm sure I have that in notebooks, but yeah, I was just I still am, but I was such a curious child. Oh my God, I've had 3 mediums tell me I'll write something like a book. That's amazing. I love that you're getting into a habit then, Amy, of kind of taking time every day to write 3 pages, because that's definitely a muscle that I've realized I have definitely let go. And it's something that I feel like every single day I'm getting a little bit stronger and stronger in. Not for journal, I do email myself. I have to journal again. Asha said, same here. I used to write so much as a kid, poems, songs, stories, and just plain journal entries. Yeah, I don't have enough time in my day to keep writing when I start writing. Man, I am so spacey lately. Forgot about this again. It's okay, Sam. It's all good. How you doing? I missed you. I had a journal from 10 years old and 14 years oldish, and tried to start a book of shadows when I was 15 or 16. Somehow it's half-hearted. I didn't know what a book of shadow was at 15. I didn't really know any of that. I grew up very spiritual, very holistic lifestyle, but it wasn't very specified in sort of like it was pagan without being pagan, and it was like witchy without being witchy, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the things my mom did with her aromatherapy, like she had spirit animals and she had all of these things, which we'll bring up because it's in the chapters of this book. But I was raised very witchy and holistic and spiritual from my grandmother on my dad's side and my mother, without being introduced to like, here's a book of shadows, here's, you know, here are the pagan Sabbats, or you know what I mean. Like it was there, but it wasn't. So I had Book of Shadows and journals without realizing that that's what it was, kind of thing. I used to do my daily readings at a cafe and write for myself. I enjoy journaling, plus it's a great way to buy more cute journals. You can never have too many journals, right? I know. Heather sent me a love package, you guys. I posted a couple pictures on my Instagram, and she's got 2 really beautiful like notebooks that she sent me that I'm gonna do. I'm obsessed. I agree. I'm obsessed with journaling and notebooks. Okay, you guys are commenting amazing today, but I'm gonna keep going. If I missed anything really important, will my moderators help me? Heather, I'm apparently addicted to buying cute journals. I've had a free roam internet of excess, which related info at 16. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, you guys. I really want to get to all your comments, but you're really talking in the comments, which is great, and I can't keep up. So, that was our first homework. Again, don't get mad at me, but I'm going to reassign the same homework again for next week, and I'm going to try to continue with doing the daily inspiration topics over on my Instagram story. So if you guys need help, or if you don't want to write about what I put, even reading it might jog your mind into something else that you want to write about, if that makes sense. I can't remember who said it, but someone said like they didn't use it, but it made them want to write other things or whatever. So I'm going to continue doing that. We're going to continue that homework for next week as well. So if you're new here or whatever, your homework for next week or to try is to write 3 pages daily. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening, you can do it at night, whatever you need to do. It doesn't have to be a big notebook. This notebook is pretty small. I can get through the pages fairly quickly, but I still feel like it's a really great tool. See, like the lines in here, you know. So that's our homework again. We're going to continue with the daily pages. If you need help, if you need inspiration, focus. You can head over to my Instagram and watch my story. I'm going to try to remember. If I forget, you guys message me because I forgot 1 or 2 days, I think. Anyways. Also, I started a, you know how you can have highlights on Instagram? I started a new highlight that says journaling. And if I remember, when I put something on my Instagram, I'm sorry if you can't use Instagram right now, but that's like my main way to communicate other than like live streams and YouTube. Because I try to use Twitter, but I don't really know what that is. But so I started a new highlight on my Instagram that says journaling, and if I remember, I throw it in my highlight. So let's say you missed writing for the last 3 days and you don't like my topic, or you're looking for some more inspiration. If you go to my highlight, I'll have the past daily inspiration journal prompts in that highlight, so you can use them anytime you want, if that makes sense. Okay, so the second part, I like that works. I found a way to get it to focus. Our second bit of homework, I'm really proud of. So if you guys weren't here last week, the other part of the homework was, let me see if I can find it in the book really quick so you can see what I'm looking at here. Nope. There was a diagram of the different energy bodies. So the physical, the mental, emotional, and spirit, and not in that order, but found it. So there was this diagram up here, and we went in the chapters and discussed what these different energy bodies were, and the homework was to take that diagram and either sketch it as well as you could, or trace it, or kind of do what you could with it, but basically, draw some sort of body form with the other energy bodies and color it in, or explore it, or journal about it, or whatever, with how you connect with your sense of those different but hello, Butterfly Magic with Hot Tea. Hi, we're going over our homework for last week. We already talked about our daily pages, and now we're talking about the second portion, which was to copy the diagram or trace it or whatever and kind of explore those different areas. I did show on my story, my Instagram story, me kind of working through this, which I was hesitant about because I didn't want to kind of make it intimidating for you guys, because I kind of went full force on mine, but I also wanted to inspire you guys. So if you didn't do this, it's okay, or if you did it and you're like, mine is not like that, that's fine, but I really tried to, you know, I really tried to do the homework with how I felt like I would do it. So this isn't my book of shadows, sneak peek or whatever, but I did show this on here. This is some journal prompts for September that I wrote out for myself, so you'll see that in a future video. But this was what I came up with for it. So let me get a little closer here so you can see this. So here is what I did. I used watercolor and pens, so I just felt like watercolor is a fun medium to use for me. I like to play around with it, but I also felt like it was good to get a sense of what these bodies feel like for me. So, thank you, Angie. I really like how it turned out as well. I think it's a good representation of how I feel and connect with these bodies. And it was such a good exercise. So if you didn't already do it and now you kind of want to do it, you don't have to use watercolor. You can use pens or markers or just regular pen and note or whatever. But you can kind of see here, like, this is my physical body, this is the emotional, this is the mental, and this is the spirit. So I really, really connect with the mental body, and I feel a lot of things up here, almost like electricity. Oh, come on, come on. So I kind of went back with my pen and made like these little roots or these like electricity, and up here is where I feel like a lot of things happen. I'm very mental, I'm very communicative. I put blue right here around here. I feel like my lungs and my throat and my ears and my around here, like all of my senses, my fingertips, I feel like I'm really, really connected with my senses and my lungs and the way that I use air. So that's what I did here, and it even connects into my emotional body. The way that I communicate, think, or interact really can either clog up or charge up my emotional realm here, if that makes sense. I feel a lot in my sacral chakra here, and I find a lot of my tension and pain and dis-ease in my sacral chakra. Wait, no, in my solar plexus chakra, sorry. So if you guys don't know chakras, it's fine. But in this region is where a lot of like my creativity and my passions and everything come from. And then why is there a red mark on your other knee? Because I have a injury on my knee. Both of my knees actually, but so I did just a little bit here. But my left knee, which it's showing backwards for you guys, I think. My left knee, I injured very badly playing in an adult softball league. I played softball my whole life, but I was playing in like a beer league, and I got hit really hard from behind, and it tore something in my knee, and I never really took care of it properly, and now I just kind of deal with it, and it pops out of place. I can't move in certain areas, and I feel like it's something that I'm always really aware of, and it causes me to use and to think and to react to things differently. So this knee right here, my other one is weak now too because of overcompensating and stuff. So that's why you see this here, but it's one of the biggest areas in which I feel either pain or ties to. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I used this to connect with my body and to realize I carry a lot of my stress in my shoulders and in my neck, so I kind of put this like brown color here. My feet carry a lot of stress. I tend to get like, I don't care if this is like nasty or whatever, I tend to get like blisters and stuff really easily, or my feet will get really, really sore very easily if I don't take care of them. So I kind of just used this as a way. I used to get really bad headaches I don't so much anymore now that I've switched up my diet, but I do feel a lot of pressure and tension around like my head, um, stuff like that. So that's how I used the physical body and the colors to create, I feel a lot of magic within my heart area and within my hands. So that's why I put like this yellow. You guys can see how I use this. You can do it however you want. This is just how I felt it was easy for me to express how I connected with these energy bodies. And kind of along the same lines in the emotional, it kind of gets blocked up here around my knees because I feel very emotional about the situation with that area. I kind of put these waves of emotion and energy coming out of this area. You can see I get really clogged up with emotions if I don't release them. That's just how I used to do this. And then I feel like my spirit body is really, really bright and pink and sparkly and still kind of looks like fire and flames, but I don't know if you can see, I took like gel pens that were sparkly. It's not really showing up, but I put like little twinkles and like little dots. Like this feels, my soul body fire element feels very, excuse me, like fantasy based to me. Like very like fairy, cute, girly. Instead of like fire, I made it like pink and cute. So that's how I did the homework. I had so much fun. That's why I'm attracted to hang out with here. I super agree on the pink love energy. Awesome. Let me go back and see. Donna says, I have trouble separating spirit from mental and emotional. I struggle with meditation and maybe that is related to this. I feel very earthbound. That's super interesting, Donna. Yeah, I feel like I didn't really discover anything new by doing this. But what it enabled me to do was kind of take things that I've thought and felt and kind of translate them on the paper. So if you feel like you don't have any disconnection or you have a disconnection from certain things, maybe journaling about it or coloring it in however you see that relating might be nice to see it on paper and to go, oh, okay, that's how I feel I connect or don't connect with these certain things. It was just fun. To be honest with you, it was just fun to kind of try and break down different parts of how I connected with things. So if you haven't done it and now you want to do it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But I really enjoyed doing it and I thought it came out really cute. And I'm actually using this image for one of my reading thumbnails on my website when it launches. I'm going to be offering a chakra reading. And I'm using this image and it looks so good on my website. I'm so excited about it. So that was pretty cool. Angie says, yeah, I feel bound to my mind. It's always my thoughts and imagination and feeling, but I try to meditate and it's hard for me, real hard. Yeah, and especially if you like don't get into a groove of it, if you feel like every time you go to meditate, you're starting at ground one again, that can be really frustrating. Sorry. I'm gonna paint my energy this week. Awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, I mean, if you want to tag me in it or send me a DM of how it goes, that's pretty cool. I did the chart sometimes before and after meditations. I have trouble separating spirit and physical. Sounds strange, doesn't it? No, it sounds like everybody else is kind of feeling the same way. I felt like the two that blended together the most for me actually was the mental and the emotional. Because I could feel a clear disconnect between the physical and the mental and emotional. And I could see how they related as well. And I felt a disconnect between the soul and the physical because I could sense that I feel like my mental and emotional were the most intertwined. So if I'm being honest, I feel more of 3 emotional bodies or energy bodies. I feel like it's the physical, the emotional, mental, and then the soul. But I tried to break it down. Anyways, hi everybody. If you're just joining in, I am seeing more people come in to the chat. Welcome. I feel like we're all going to have a hard time with separating it all until we practice it more over and over again. Yeah, or maybe you don't want to separate it and maybe you don't want to see it that way. That's cool too. But I had a really fun time with it. I think it turned out cute. I'm really proud of it and it was a good exercise for me to kind of check in with how I was feeling. how I relate to my physical body, where I feel like I hold tension, where I feel like all my power is at. So I suggest you do it if you want to. Cool. Water. All right. Let's get into the reading. So, here's the book we're doing. It's The Witch's Shield still. We went over chapters 5 and 6. In the beginning of the week, I was pretty good about beginning my reading and not leaving it to the end. And I got through about half of the 5th chapter. And I kind of had other things going on in the week. And then in my mind, I was like, oh, I don't have that much reading left. It's fine. You know, I did a lot of my reading, in the beginning and everything. And then last night I picked up my book. I was like, shit, I actually didn't read anything. So I tried to read it last night and I fell asleep at like 10 o'clock. So I woke up and did the rest of the reading this morning. I did read the section, but I didn't realize that I had left most of it to the end because I thought I had gotten a lot of it done in the beginning of the week. That's just me confessing my sins, I guess. But so we're starting with chapter 5 on page 81. I'm gonna skip because I put some notes in here and I don't remember most of the 5th chapter because like I said, I did it in the beginning of the week. So I did take notes. He brings up soul loss again, which we kind of, or at least I had a little bit of difficulty delving into when we talked with our last book, Earth Magic, and he does have a lot of related topics or things to shamanic practices, that's what our last book, Earth Magic by Stephen D. Farmer, was about. So there is a lot of ties or carryover into this discussion. So just kind of made some notes as we went through like where I found those, and he brings up soul loss again. I have a little note marker here and I can't remember for what. Just trying to read here. Any negative or harmful energies will not hurt the earth when doing this technique. Oh, he's talking about earthing. So many ways nowadays on meditation. Yeah, those days it was hard to move on. Oh, you guys are talking. Sorry, I'm missing it. So he's talking about different grounding techniques. Body awareness, tree hugging, growing roots, earthing, sinking, grounding cord. I feel like as far as protection and things of that nature goes, my biggest tool is grounding. Mostly not to shield or protect myself from external things, more so because I have a very airy energy a lot of the times, and I do have earth in me, and I am very grounded and secure and stable and stubborn and all that other stuff, but I feel like at certain points I get so revved up energetically in an air space and a mental and communicative space that I need to stop what I'm doing and ground myself to kind of balance it back out. Or when I'm doing, back-to-back readings, or when I'm feeling like I'm doing a lot of buzzing in my energy, I have to stop and physically connect myself and ground myself and practice that. That's something that I particularly was taught that too as a young child. Grounding myself was a big part of, my grandma or my mom teaching me how to connect and to meditate. Was more so like, we're meditating, but we're grounding. So this was a part of the book that I felt very connected to, and that I got and I related to a lot. I have been interested in drumming lately too. Okay, you guys I still feel like I'm not plugged into the comments, so I'm really sorry, but you guys are having a conversation, and I think that's really cool. So I think that I tagged this because I've thought a lot about, you hear things like in with the good, out with the bad, or like breathe in and release the stress and tension. And I do feel like to a certain extent that is helpful. But I feel like I've heard and thought about, what about in with love and out with love? Or grounding energy. What he talks about is taking the negative or harmful energies will not hurt the earth when doing this technique. Like a leaf, root, or body returned to the land, the earth will break it down and turn it back into more usable form. You can return it to the earth with the intention that it be used for healing and balancing of the earth. One of my students, Karen, describes harmful energies like fertilizer. I love that. What may become poison in your body can be great for your garden. So, you know, you hear a lot. Sorry, my eye is like really itchy. Ah! You hear a lot about, I might have just messed up my makeup or whatever. You hear a lot about sticking your feet, earthing, grounding yourself, like sticking your feet in the soil or getting out in nature and things of that. But thinking about releasing negative energy or releasing difficult mindsets that I have gravitated to or protecting myself. I like and relate the most to this because I feel like that's what the earth is here for. Now, I'm not gonna. We talked in one of our previous live streams about having two plants, you know, and bullying it versus sending it love and help, but and how they grow and they will use that energy. It's like proven. They've done studies and stuff with how, you know, you react to certain energies with plants and stuff. But I feel like thinking of it as fertilizer to me, and releasing it with a purpose of like, hey, use this and turn it into something else. Like, if you have to, it can be a mushroom, or, you know, instead of being like, in with love, in with the good, and out with the bad, because that has to go somewhere. That is going, that's my belief, that's my thoughts. If you think differently, that's cool too. But I believe that when I'm in a space of like, I need to clear my energies, I need to think all love, but it needs to go somewhere. Um, and I like the idea of grounding and earthing and kind of sending it and having the earth regenerate it and use it as fertilizer or use it as in a different way to transform the energy and put it where it needs to be, if that makes sense. Again, I feel like, oh my god, I'm missing things so much. So how about, okay, Christmas Sammy, I love that fertilizer from Mama Earth. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of in with the good, out with the bad. Um, I don't really resonate with that, and I really until like kind of recently didn't know how to use it in a different way. Because, like I said, I feel like energy has to go somewhere. So if you're trying to release, we talked as well, and later in the chapters they talk about cutting cords, and they get into angels and energies like that and using them for cord cutting. And I've talked at least a couple times about how I sent away an ex with love and sent love and cut the cords with love, and how effective and how life changing that was for me. Instead of like, you're no good for me, I'm gonna cut you out of my life, it was, this is not good for me anymore, I release you with love. Like, I want you to be well and be happy and have a great life, but I want this disconnection from me. So I feel like it's in the same sense when we're talking about clearing our energy or grounding or even protecting ourselves or anything like that. I think that's a great tool. I feel so disconnected from you guys right now. But that's okay. If you're having fun, you're having fun. Spider, oh, spider. Is there a spider by me? So if there is, it's fine, I'll just leave it. I have stopped using all chemicals for my plants, have for years. I just started feeding the bees. It helps me stay grounded. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't use any chemicals with my plants either. Um, I have wanted to make natural fertilizer, with like vinegar. I think it's vinegar, apple cider, not apple cider. Maybe, what is it? I can't remember. There's like a combo in soap or something, just to get the weeds out of the cracks and areas, but I haven't even done it yet, and I don't know if that's because I'm lazy or if because I'm feeling like I actually don't need to do that. Oh my god, teach me how to make them. I'm listening. um there's white fluffy stuff on my plants. Unfortunately, there's always going to be some kind of negativity surrounding you, but you can get rid of the tension associated with it. Yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to bring up, is that he talks a lot about his daily practice with protecting himself. And I have very like swayed views on this. I do feel like having an acknowledgement of centering yourself, grounding yourself, protecting yourself is really important, or is something that, you know, I think we all could use a little bit more of. In my most humble opinion, is being aware of our energy and how to, you know, especially with people coming to this sort of platform, we're dealing with a lot of empaths, we're dealing with a lot of empathic people that, you know, aren't even aware of the extent of which they're open and allowing energy to come in and taking on other people's emotions, or, you know, things of that nature. I feel like it's really important for us to have a little bit more mindset around, you know, having boundaries, knowing how to protect our energy, and, you know, but at the same time, there's something a little bit with me that feels a little gunky about having such an awareness about being protected at all times, and asking for protection and doing all of these protection rituals. And um, when you're working with magic, or when you're working with energy work, or when you're working with things like this, you are really opening yourself up. So I guess um it's hard for me because everyone's different, and what you're doing I think might depend. But for me, I have a certain limit I do on feeling and thinking about protection, and then I kind of do my own thing. But it feels like he's very, very protection centered, and there's something about it to me where if I'm feeling like I am constantly trying to protect myself, in the same regards, I'm kind of just thinking about how I could be attacked, either with my own thoughts, or from another energy, or from, you know, psychic invasion, or whatever it is. So there has to be boundaries, there has to be borders, there has to be balance. In my opinion, there has to be a balance. I do feel like it's healthy to have an awareness of how to protect yourself, which is good because there's a lot of good, you know, suggestions or things, food for thought in here. I just hope that reading this book to you guys is not overdoing it for you. Spending 4 weeks reading a book that's only on protection, and how, you know, we need to be protecting ourselves every day, and doing all these things and all of these different areas in which spirit can attach yourself, or, you know, needing to call on things all the time. There is a lot of gifts and beauty and validity to that, but use what feels right for you. If you feel like someone who really needs more protection because you're so open, and you know, you're not really aware of your energy like that, great. I'm hoping that this is helping you. Me personally, there's been times and ways in which I will protect my home, or I will protect my energy, or I do slip and feel, oh wow, my empathic energy is like just going wild, and I'm picking up on different things that I don't want to pick up on, and I have to come back and reevaluate what I'm doing. But I don't want you guys to feel like, if you're not waking up every morning doing a ritual and calling on things for protection, that you're open to attack all of the time. Um, Find what works for you, okay? I just really wanted to get that out of the way, because reading this, you know, he'll say certain things, and I've made notes, so when they come up, I'll let you know. Look, he's like, every morning I get up and I do this. And if that works for him, and that's what he feels like he, you know, works and what's best for him, that's great. There's something to me about where if I'm waking up every morning with a mindset about I have to do a protection ritual, that might actually be a little counterproductive for me, because I might just be thinking about how I'm open to things. I don't know how to explain it, I guess, better than that. I think you guys are getting what I'm talking about. I am going to go back and read a few comments here. Yeah, I totally need to learn how to protect myself more. I take on so many emotions all day as an 8th grade teacher. Yes, so someone who has a job where you're touching and interacting, and especially children are so pure, so their energies, I feel like, are so enhanced. So whatever they're feeling like tons. So So if you have a child that's really acting out one day and they're really causing a ruckus, I feel like it's much easier to take on certain things like that. Or if you're in a high stressful job or whatever the deal is, I guess I just kind of wanted to bring it up. We're talking and we're spending a lot of time on protecting yourself and harmful energies or negative energies he calls harmful energies. I would use the word challenging energies, but I just want you guys to know that I don't want you to be fearful. I don't want you to feel like you have to do something. I do think that learning about this is really great, and I think that there's a lot of things in which we could use a little bit more of protection and shielding. I just felt like I've wanted to say that for a while we're reading this, and this specific um, reading sections really just was like, okay, I'm bringing it up now. Remember the Green Witch book we got in the Witch's Moon? Of course I did. It's still my favorite book we've read so far. They have the protection spell in there, and I did it and made a sachet for my sisters, me and my mom. That's cute. That's so cute. I can't imagine having enough energy to put into a constant protection spell. Right. That's kind of how I feel too, Sam. Like there's things in which I will pre-protect myself of, and there's things where it's like post protection or during protection, but I don't have my whole day and whole mindset around thinking about how I can protect my home and me and my energy and calling on certain spirit guides, or if I'm calling on my main spirit guides or if I'm calling on my ancestors, it's more about show me guidance, show me, what do I need to know, guide me, things. I just kind of always feel in my heart that they are protecting me, that I don't need so much to call on them. That's what they're here for. That's what my spirit guide is not gonna put me in a place. If I put myself in a place, I can remind myself that they're here and be like, hey, you're still here protecting me, right? Can you show me my way out? Because I don't know what I did. But I just feel like in my heart, I have a very love-centered relationship to energy and spirit, and there's been a few times, and I've mentioned them before, and we'll get into, he brings up negative energies spirit wise as far as entities attaching themselves, or I don't know. Anyways, I'm really rambly, but I just felt like I needed to say that. My sister does, she lives out of town. Okay, I don't know what you guys are saying. I'm so sensitive now. My energy is like crystal. Don't choose anything I don't like. Not sure how people are going to work with me. Yes, Sam, it is like dwelling in the negative all the time. Right. I just feel like there needs to be a balance of everything. And reading this, it kind of feels like he has a lot of mindset around protection, and maybe it's just because his book is about protection, so he's trying to show you, what he does and how he does it. It's just such a fine line. It's such a funny thing to describe, because I can't say that, like, don't worry about it, you'll be fine. I do feel situations in which, I have forgotten to actively say, I know I'm going into a situation where I'm going to be using a lot of my energy or stirring up a lot of energy, and I didn't properly protect myself, and I did see the negativities of that. But then there's other situations in which, again, like I said, I believe that I'm here for and surrounded by positive energy, because that's what I create during my day. That's what I manifest. That's what I draw in. I have gotten really good at letting people go in my life that I don't feel correlates with my beliefs or correlates with my energy and what I want to create. And I don't know. Anyways. Angelica, there was a book about making herbal sachets, been making them but wanted to see some book that shared them. Meredith, the first book we ever did for Witchy Book Club was the Green Witch book. Hello, I'm out of focus again. The Green Witch book we had gotten into post Witch's Moon box. Yeah, this is what created this. I'm out of focus. Okay. Created this Witchy Book Club. And if you guys ever missed any of the books, or if you're new here or whatever, I had some people commenting on some of my videos, and I tried to explain that I started a playlist on my channel. I try to remember every time I do a live stream to throw it in that playlist. It's called Witchy Book Club, and it's on my YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and re-watch any of the books we've covered, like the Green Witch book is in there. It was the first one ever where we began this. You can go and watch the whole playback and kind of interact with us that way. I really loved the Green Witch book. It's still my favorite one so far. I am very excited to get into our next book, Kitchen Table Tarot, and kind of dabble in with the tarot cards. I'm really nervous, actually, but very excited because I feel like this book and the last book have been pretty good, but like I'm really craving some more juiciness. Anyways, hour into this live stream, how you guys feeling? You guys have really great conversations going. I can see it. So I flagged this section too. I don't know why. I avoid visualizing it as a strict white light, since white light is so protective that it can block out all energies, even when energy you desire to attract. I state the following information when doing my shield meditation. I charge this protection shield to protect me from all harmful energies, both positive and negative. I charge this protection shield to protect me from all harmful energies, both positive and negative. I charge this protection shield to protect me from all harm and reflect love back to the source of the harm. I love that. Okay, cool. I charge this shield to protect me from all physical harm, from all physical and energetic pollution, attacks, and harmful intentions, both of my own making and from others so known to be. Okay. Hi. Is everyone saying hi to Imogen? Hi, Imogen. What you doing? What's up, girl? I saw some videos on your channel recently. Imogen is just the best. Alexis Bailey says, for me, sometimes doing something as simple as envisioning a white light surrounding me and protecting me from my head to my toes and making sure my chakras feel balanced really helps. Yeah, so like, for me, keeping it simple is normally the best way. I tend to overthink things too, so if I get it really into like, let me do this crazy big ritual for this, sometimes it's like too much and I just need to bring it down. Sam, what you're saying is really mature. Thank you, Butterfly Magic with hot tea. I really, again, all of this is just my opinion, so take what resonates, okay? If you guys don't jive with what I'm saying, that's cool too. But for me, there's something about spending 4 weeks on a book about protection that actually left me a bit nervous for feeling like I might be susceptible to having harmful energies or mindsets or thoughts. It's good food for thought, but just throwing that out there. Let's get into something juicy here, right? Okay. So I'm on page 95, mental flexibility, kind of along the same lines as what I was talking about, but let's turn it into talking about it as a different topic here. Under this section, mental flexibility, it talks about reacting and processing difficult situations and people in a positive manner. So I'm going to read you this part that I have kind of like sectioned out with my little pencil markers. It says, if we choose to frame the situation differently, we can transmute the energy and have a completely different experience. If we label it differently, we transform a problem or curse into a great lesson. Many of my most difficult experiences have been my greatest teachers. Many of the worst people in my life, personally, professionally, and in and out of the craft, have been my wisest teachers. Perhaps they didn't realize they were teaching me something. They often taught me more about how I don't want to be and how to draw appropriate boundaries, but they were great life-changing teachers. Even when we frame trauma, conflict, illness, injury, and even psychic attack as potential teachers, suddenly the process takes a new focus in our mind. We no longer put our energy into fighting against something, but rather learning from it, with the thought in mind that once we learn from the experience, we will detach it completely. Once it serves its purpose, we will release it and be that much stronger for having experienced it. I'm going to read one more paragraph because I really liked this section. Witches must also be vigilant in their thought processes. Which is, I think, just humans in general, but that's okay. We create our own reality, and our thoughts, words, and deeds often attract the experiences in our life. We are often unconscious of our words and say things we don't truly mean, but as we grow in magical power, we realize that all our words and thoughts have power. Something we say in jest or in a moment of confusion can help create our reality, and our thoughts can contribute to unintentional psychic attack or at least bombardment of others. I'm just going to finish the section. When we put ourselves and others down or unfairly judge, gossip, or speak in anger, we create energy and project it. In chapter 1, we discussed how harmful judgments, projections, and insults make the recipient weaker physically. It lowers both physical and psychic strength and decreases the power of the immune, nervous, and glandular system. But our insults and unhealthy thoughts do return to us eventually. Often we are our own worst enemies when it comes to psychic protection. Okay, there's a couple things I want to talk about here. I know you guys are commenting. I feel such a pull to like stay connected with you guys because this is book club, like I said, but I feel like you guys are just really, really going in the comments today, which makes me so happy. Yeah, Angelica, yes. If you're constantly dwelling on how to protect yourself, then it feels like spending all your time thinking about negative things. I agree with Sammy that there should be a balance. Be smart, but don't dwell there. Exactly. Okay, Donna, I feel like that mindset. My mindset is always to think positive and try not to stress. I always think that everyone will turn out okay and not to worry about it. Yeah, so I feel like a good example of what I'm trying to talk about here is Angelica. Yes, that is good mindset. I think our minds create our reality. So here's a good, I have someone in my life that I struggle a lot with, and cutting ties and stuff too. But if I didn't protect myself or set boundaries from this specific relationship, whether it's my own mental thoughts about how this person should or shouldn't be, or we talked about that, or how I feel like they're causing things that are negative in my life or other people's life, like there's boundaries and line and protection that I feel like I need to create within my life and within my energy bodies, as well as letting it go. Like, I cannot become obsessive over protecting myself and creating boundaries. I also need to know that everybody is doing the best that they can do, that they feel that they can do. Whether it's the best that I feel they can do, or if I expect higher and better of people, everybody is innately doing the best that they feel that they can do at that specific time. So even though I disagree with somebody's energy or the way that they're choosing to live their life or go about things or to communicate with people, they don't feel the same, clearly, because they're choosing to act in which they feel is best. So while feeling like everything will just work out is how I naturally am going about my life, I innately feel like everything happens and everything will work out in its best and highest good. There is certain situations and certain relationships and energy dynamics that I feel need to have clear boundaries on for me to make my life work for how I want to make my life work. So innately I feel like people are good, whether they make bad choices or what I feel are bad choices, they clearly think are good choices. That's kind of a good, I know it seems really vague, but it's only because I'm not trying to draw on who this person is. Do you know what I mean? Be right back, gonna cut some hair. You do you, Angie, make that money. I feel like that's a good way to describe a certain, more specific situation. Being able to protect yourself energetically from certain relationships that you feel take more out of you, or that you don't agree with. And that's okay if you don't agree with it, but they do what they feel is best for them. And so I consciously protect myself from specific, never mind, not my client, I thought it was. Well, welcome back. I specifically protect and set boundaries towards that relationship because I feel negative effects on my energy, my mindset, my emotional, my spirit, everything when I don't. So that's an active thing that I feel like I've learned that I need to create. But I don't have to do that with everybody. You know what I mean? Okay, that's just a little example there. Getting back to this mental flexibility. Talking about we choose to frame the situation differently, we can transmute the energy and have completely different experience. If we label it differently, we transform a problem or curse into a great lesson. And this makes me want to touch on Mercury retrograde. The internet freaks the F out whenever there is a Mercury retrograde, and I think it's actually kind of nice. It's nice because there's people who have no spiritual, practice. You go to Facebook and people who have no awareness of astrology or spirituality, they're just doing their daily things, and they're on social media, and in return they've learned what social media is, or what Mercury retrograde is, because they see memes and they Google it or whatever. So it's become kind of a tool to where people whine and cry. So I'm just going to put it out there about, getting stuck in traffic and, Mercury retrograde, I love Mercury retrograde. It happens all the time, you guys. It happens 3 times a year. It happens all the freaking time. My chart ruler is Mercury. And again, if you don't know astrology, we talked about astrology. This is just how I communicate, okay? So my chart ruler, so my ascendant is Virgo and my sun is Gemini. Mercury is a huge planet that I feel is one of my biggest tools and assets. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it is a time for me to really jam and go inward and kind of take a reversal energy on how I typically do things. I use it as a tool. Mercury retro rocks, right? Mercury playground. And this is just an example I'm pulling into, because thinking of Mercury retrograde as like, oh shit, I'm traveling and things are gonna go wrong, or oh, I have to sign the lease on my house and everything's gonna go wrong, or oh, people are not gonna understand me, or oh, whatever comes associated with what you think Mercury retrograde is, and thinking about how your life isn't going to work for you is along the same lines. If you're going to take that outlook, if you're going to take that approach of like, oh, I need to worry, Mercury retrograde's here, and X, Y, and Z is gonna not work for me, it comes down to ego, in my opinion, and wanting and needing to control every single aspect of your life, and wanting things to happen and work in the ways in which you want them to work. And Mercury retrograde is just one of these time pockets in the year where the universe kind of goes, how about you bring it and do it this way a little bit? And if you fight against that, or any other planetary transition, whether it's Mercury retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Mars retrograde, or even, certain aspects of the moon and all that, like if you're fighting against what, even if you don't believe in the transits, but you're listening and thinking about, oh, okay, it's Mercury retrograde, I'm not buying into it, but you have this awareness of things not going like you want it to be, that's how you're going to choose to go about it. And when I first started learning astrology and first started really learning about Mercury retrograde and realizing how much I'm affected personally with that time, and started using it as a tool, there was a specific time where we were going camping. This was like years and years ago. We were going camping. Allison and I used to go camping every year with her family, and she was leaving a day before she planned, and it was during a Mercury retrograde. And I told her, listen, she knew I was like trying to introduce her to Mercury retrograde, and I was like, listen, you're gonna go traveling, you're switching it up, you're trying to control what's happening. Good for you. Do it. Double check your oil, double check your tires, just have a little bit more of an awareness of the vehicle in which you're traveling. Don't be fearful, but be proactive, give yourself extra time to leave, really try not to be going through rush hour. But if you hit rush hour, you get there when you get there, like just really go with the flow. Whatever happens, just go with the flow. Learn how to adjust and mend to the situation as it needs to be. I told her, something happens, it's a lesson. So she got about an hour into the drive and called me, and she's like, Mercury retrograde. And I was like, what happened? The car overheated. So I ended up going with my ex-boyfriend, my boyfriend at the time, and driving up to kind of meet her on the side of the road. The car overheated, they had to get it towed and brought, and they had to get some other rental car to pick it up, and it totally set them back a whole night, and it was this big long thing, and we ended up going off, you know, and beating them there because we went and just kind of was like, well, we'll leave when we leave. But she was like, I need to leave early. I really want to get there. I want to, you know, control the situation. It wasn't in a proactive sense. It was like, I want things to go how I want them to go. And when I got there, she goes, you know what? I was upset, but you telling me about Mercury retrograde and just thinking like, whatever happens, just go with the flow and everything's going to work out. Just, it's a lesson. Just kind of figure it out as you go. She's like, that helped me to when that happened, instead of being really upset. And you know, I was upset because the car overheated and it was an annoying situation to deal with, but everything ended up fine. You know, the car got fixed, they got a rental, they got up there a couple hours after we did, but it all worked out. We still went camping, everything was fine. But if you didn't have an awareness of like, deal with the situation as is, kind of, you might have to go off a little bit of a side path here, but it's however you choose to think about it, and deal with it. And it was one of her biggest lessons around thinking about mental flexibility. Okay, this sucks. It's a you know, but how much more would it have sucked to get 4 hours up north where I don't have cell service? You know, thinking about the positives or thinking about what lessons this taught her and how to, you know, be more flexible. I'm kind of rambling now a little bit more than I want to, but you guys get the idea. This was a specific situation in which I saw somebody else taking the thought of a situation that seemed crappy, and using it as a tool and a lesson. And that's how you want to approach things like transits, like Mercury retrograde. I know that I just have to be very like, whatever happens happens, and this is what I want to get done, and I will get it done. It just might not get done in the exact way as I'm planning it, and having that flexibility mentally to say, let me just do as I can do and whatever feels right, and not to force it. I don't know if anybody else kind of resonates with that. Let me go back. That's exactly how I try to think. Although I prepare for everything and pack everything, I'm very prepared. I just let the universe happen how it will. Right. So preparing and getting yourself ready and having a game plan, it's just when certain things happen, having a B, C, and D, maybe even an E plan is good for you. When you're someone that likes to plan and you're like, this is how it's going to be. And my best friend Allie is very like that. She doesn't really need plan B's and C's because she just makes A work for her. But in certain situations, like her house that she just finally moved out and she has her own place that she's renting. I'm super happy and proud of her, but it was very difficult for her before that because, and I already mentioned this situation before, but she was going to move into a different house and had already signed a lease and everything, and realized that that was not a good situation for her. And trying to let that go and go with the flow and get the lesson out of it and everything was really hard for her. But ultimately ended up great, and the place she's at now is so much better, and it's all around, it was a better situation. But when she was going through it, trying to like control and everything, anyways, she's a double Virgo though, you guys, though that comes along with the territory. She has to have things the way she likes them. I totally agree with you. I find things go so much better when you go with the flow and tackle things as they come. Oh my gosh, yes. Moving back to Illinois, everything seemed to go wrong, especially with the car, but thankfully we were able to work with the situation. Yeah, so you'll hear things a lot when, and I'm just using Mercury retrograde as a situation, partially because I love the time, partially because it's such a big hoopla in the spiritual community and non-spiritual community now, and also because we're currently in a Mercury retrograde. But you'll hear things like, don't move, don't travel, don't sign any legal documents. I don't on myself when it comes to transits, partially because they're happening all the time. It's more about having an awareness about what's going on, whether you're tracking the planets or not. More just like, Mercury likes to test patience and bring surprise. It does. It does. So I wouldn't say if I'm trying to buy a house and I have to sign on the house during a Mercury retrograde, I'm not gonna be like, no, don't do it. It's more so like I'm gonna read that fine print. I am going to read that lease. I'm going to read that, mortgage over fine print and really make sure that I'm aware of what it is that I'm binding myself to. If I'm going to travel, I just am gonna know that, like, I'm gonna leave an hour extra, or I'm gonna pack an extra book to read, because if there is a layover, then that's okay with me. Or, and I don't feel like I'm bringing that on by preparing. I feel like I'm just preparing, or being flexible, or opening myself to the mental flexibility. That's what we're talking here. And ultimately, if you have trouble during Mercury retrogrades, it's ego. Guys, you can't control every single little thing. So anyways, I thought that section was really good, really pertinent to right now, and also just in general. I hate the don't part too. It's like, I want to live my life and keep doing things I need to. Yeah, I just need to adjust. So I'm not gonna don't on myself. I give readings during Mercury retrograde. I love doing readings during Mercury retrograde because I feel as though I'm really able to go within. I just know that I have to be very specific with the way that I'm communicating, because things can easily get confused or misinterpreted or things like that. So I just have an extra awareness about how I'm phrasing things, or what I'm choosing to communicate. And I think that's important. Anyways, let's skip a little bit again. Advanced psychic defense. Going into, okay, we're coming to the end of the 5th chapter here. Spirit. As far as the first sentence on page 100 underneath the section Spirit, it says the defensive techniques of Spirit are the ones people turn to the least, but these techniques are the most important and should be foremost in your mind when taking any other defensive measure. I think when we talked about grounding, I do that a lot. But as far as defensive techniques go, I think this is my most used. He's saying that it's the least used by people, but I feel like for myself, it's kind of the most used, whether I'm conscious or subconscious of it, because of the fact that, one, I live in a household where I believe and I feel there's a lot of energetic activity. I don't think I've ever lived in a home that, don't shit on me, right, Heather? I feel I can reach people and communicate deeper and better during Mercury retrograde, though I don't know if it's just me. It's not. I agree with you, Meredith. Yeah, the first part of why I feel like I'm more protective of my energies, spirit-wise, is because I live in a very active home or very active land. That's, I believe. And I don't think there's anything in here harmful or negative. I do not feel that. Like, I've spoke to you guys before about how I've felt and been in situations where I've been like, whoa, this is not driving well with me. I feel my house is very open to energy to a certain extent. Like, I have boundaries, but I feel like I am always hearing, this sounds crazy if you're not into this, but I'm always hearing voices. I'm hearing names. I'm hearing shouts. I'm always picking up on spirit. So I have to be very conscious of being open when I want to be open and protecting myself. Oh my God, I'm getting shrills. What do you mean? Are you hearing things, or like, so I will feel pressures in my head or in my body, or I will feel certain things where I am picking up on energy, what I feel like is from spirit, but if I don't want to, then I need to be protective, and I need to be very aware of where I'm at when that's happening. The other day, for example, we were in a funeral home, clearly that's very active with energy and everything. But I knew when I was walking in that I had to be in a certain mindset so I didn't feel very drained when I left. And we were there for a very long time. But there was one point in which I was zoning out, sitting in a chair, and I was like really like losing, I was like zoning out. And I felt like this immense pressure immediately wash over my head, and my head started hurting like a sinus headache. Like it felt like I had drainage or like pressure in there, and I didn't before that. And my nose started sniffling and all of these things. It was very cold in the funeral home. They had the AC kicked up really, really high. But it was a different feeling. Like it felt like I was zoning out, and I was just losing my awareness of things, kind of thing. And my head started hurting so bad, and I had to like snap myself out of it and say like, nope, nope, not happening. And then it went away. And I know that sounds crazy. I kind of have an idea of what was happening or why it was happening, but I just, in certain areas or certain situations, I have to be more aware. And clearly, if you're in a funeral home and you're somebody that you feel picks up on spirit and stuff like that, then, you know, you have to be more aware of where you're at. Not to change the subject, but are you going to do another paranormal video soon? Those are great. Yeah, I could. I definitely could. I really, really want. And my grandma's getting into a situation where she might be up for filming another video. I kind of mentioned it, and she's doing a lot better, so that's good. She has bronchitis right now. She's getting over that, and Chauncey just got fixed, so she's dealing with that as well. But I'm really trying to have her film another video for you guys and with me, because I just loved it so much, and you guys loved her videos too. So I'm kind of trying to get her to film a part for that series and talk about 3 of her paranormal experiences. I'm really trying not to push it too much. So yes, I would love to do another one of those, but right now I'm kind of like holding off because I'm like trying to get her to do one of those. I was also thinking about if Skylar is here and he wants to film one as well, you know, I can ask him about his paranormal experiences, because I know of a couple that he's had since we've been friends, and I would love for him to tell you guys. So I relive paranormal series is too active, third eye. Yeah, I can feel that. I love your videos with your grandma. I know she's the best, but I don't want to force, you know, filming and stuff on her. So anyway, on page 101, it talks about one of the reasons witches do magic as part of their spiritual path is to truly know everything is connected. When you do a spell for a job and you run into someone randomly who gives you information about a job, you are recognizing your connection to that person through the spirit of the goddess and God. You are always connected and always will be connected, but in that moment, you sent your intention and the universe filled it by making you aware of the connection that is ever present. My little note here says George and I together create magic. And I don't even really mean that in a sexy way. I mean that in, without even consciously realizing it, him and I together really manifest very, very easily. So when we want something, I feel like he does it on his own and I do it on my own, very easily. But together, if we have a conversation about something, if we say like, oh, we really need this, or oh, we would love for this to happen, or we really want this to happen, it always seems to come up or to happen very quickly. It just either, let's say we need something, let's say, oh, you know, we really need a couch. And then a week later, someone's like, hey, I got a couch, and they're giving it to us. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up because I'm like bragging, I guess. But yeah, Heather, that sounds like your husband and you. I just feel like we work so well together, and we really are good at creating what we need. You know, we could always do better. We could always up the limits and up the stakes. But I don't think that we sit and go, let's manifest this. But in some sense we are. Like if we have a conversation about needing something or wanting something, or let's go do this, or if we talk about something, it seems as if we're very powerful and we're very magical in the sense where it's like it comes back up again very shortly after, or um you know you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to bring that up, I guess, that I've always noticed that, but I feel like even in the last like 6 months to a year, um we've really learned how to manifest what we need. And it just seems like each and every month that goes by, the level and the stakes of how and what we're creating or wanting or trying to bring in gets upped. Um, yeah, so that's cool. Oh my god, I got goosies, Steve, and I do that all the time, and it'll just show up. That's amazing. And George is in the other room playing video games. I'm not sure if he can hear me or not, but he doesn't do manifesting. He doesn't do spiritual work. He doesn't do magic. He doesn't do stuff like this. But everybody has power. I feel like everybody has the intention and the power within to create what they want, to make their lives work, whether you're actively learning about it or if you just have a pure intention. There is a tickle and an electrical. It felt like someone just like touched me right here, and it was a spark of energy. That was crazy. That was weird. It was like vibrating. It felt very like gentle though, like somebody was like kissing me right here. That was really sweet. Anyways, oh, that was really sweet. Oh. Okay, anyways, we're already an hour and a half into this. A small example. Ooh, yes, give me an example, Heather. My car had issues, and the same week he got a flat tire on his car. So our money was running on thin ice. And next thing we know, my mom and stepdad just sent us $800 just because. That's amazing. Oh, Amy, you think it's my papa? Oh, that's so sweet. Because I literally wrote in here that I don't feel my papa anymore. Which I know isn't true. I guess it's more so just like I don't feel him like I feel other things. Or I don't feel him. I'm reminded of him when I see feathers. I just don't feel him. And right now I'm okay with that. I just don't feel him around me. For whatever reason that is. I know energetically and believe that he still has an awareness of me, whatever or wherever he is and whatever he's doing. I do believe that I can connect with him, but it's different than I feel other spirit and other energies. So that's really sweet that you said that, because for whatever reason, whatever I was reading in this book, I wrote that down. Like, I don't feel my papa like I used to, and I also don't, like, it's weird. I get still signs and symbols from him, but it's like oh, that reminds me of him, and I feel like he sent that to me, but he still feels very far away, whereas I don't feel him on the sense of how I feel other spirit or energy, if that makes sense. They said they heard we were having car issues and wanted to help. That's so sweet. We didn't even tell them. We wouldn't made it work regardless, but it was so nice to see the same week we dropped all kinds of money on our cars. Paper bits. I don't feel my dad anymore. I was very upset by it. I think he crossed over somehow, and that means he's at peace now or reincarnated to a new life. Although symbols are always there. Look for feathers today. He's around you. I just found the biggest feather I've ever seen in my whole life yesterday when we were disc golfing. And so I'm not sad by it, and I'm not saying that he's not here or not connected. And, I do believe in reincarnation. So if he did reincarnate, there's still part of me that feels like I can still connect energetically. It's just different. I don't feel like he is as earth energy as some of these other things that I pick up on. I feel like he is in some sort of, I don't know how to explain it. I get him. I feel him in a way different sense than I do other things. That's the only way for me to explain it. I don't feel him anymore, but I know he's there, if that makes sense. Look for feathers today. He's around. Oh yeah, that's so sweet. Found a feather on a city street. It was streamed play same day my brother did as well. Ooh, I love that. Ooh, I have a crazy story, but I'll just message you. Okay, great. Yeah, do that, Heather. Anyways. Yeah, I made some notes. I do sometimes feel like people feel any spirit they sense in a home. Okay, I have a big note here. There's on page 104 about laughter being the best defense. I love that. I definitely relate to that because there's been times in which like I've been spooked and it's only because it caught me off guard. And even though I don't feel actual harm or actual, um, sorry, even if I don't feel like anything is bad is going to happen or that there's anything bad, the fact that I was taken off guard or spooked kind of puts me in a mindset of like open to different things. Does that make sense? And I've had to like stop and laugh at myself for being so taken off guard. And so, like, laughing about it makes it like, all right, come on now. Come on. I know that you guys saw the meme, some of you saw the meme that I shared on my story about like other people in a haunted house. Me, oh my gosh, it was terrifying or whatever it said. And then me, all right, Larry, knock it off. It's 2 a.m. I'm trying to sleep. Like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Anyways, yes, very random. I saw a question in my Facebook feed. Would you sleep in a cemetery for 200K? Yes, I would. All of you. Paper bits. I mean, yeah, I would. I feel like, made me think of Harry Potter. Yes, Donna, I'm loving all of this freaking Harry Potter references right now. Whale song, yeah. Yeah, I would sleep in a cemetery. I feel like as long as you're respecting and you're not going into it as like there's evil and haunted things. I feel like though sometimes when I sleep in my home, there's more things happening here than might be in a cemetery. Like, do you really feel like energy and spirits like they're just gonna hang around where their physical body shell is at all the time? Like, sometimes I feel like I could walk through a cemetery and the only way that I'm feeling that there is spirit around is because I'm thinking about it. Like, I don't feel like they're there just like chilling at their gravestone. Like, again, I feel like a lot happens in my house, and sometimes I'll go to other places where like stereotypical spirit should be, and I'm just like it feels okay. Like, it feels kind of normal. I don't know. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Like, I don't know. Live direct. I'm also very excited for Skylar to get here to see like how he feels in my house, because George, he's like, he doesn't believe in that. He doesn't. It's, but Michaela, his daughter, she's heard people shout like hello in her ear, and I feel like it's because she's more open to it and stuff, where I don't feel like his son AJ buys into that either. So I'm curious to see. I'm out of focus again. I feel like Pocahontas. I'm curious to see what. Me too, Imogen. Would you say, Imogen? I would. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm in a new house and there's nothing. I come from a home where there was a lot of activity. I miss it. Yeah, it honestly feels so good to be in this home. Like, it just, I don't know. There's a lot going on. My son, who was 11, we went on a walk over there after a storm came the night before, and he wanted to walk and pick up all the flowers that fell off the headstones. Oh my God. I think I've told this story before, but when I was younger, we were walking through a cemetery that was by my house. It was my brother and my best friend growing up and his best friend growing up. And there was like stones all over these like headstones. And we were like, this is so rude. Who would vandalize and stick these stones and dirty up these beautiful grave sites? Like, so we took these stones and we're throwing them all over the place. Like, we thought we were helping out and being nice, and then we ran into the guy that was like, maintenance in the cemetery, and we're like, oh, just so you know, there was someone in here like vandalizing the stone, like grave sites, and there was like stones all over and everything. And he's like, yeah, those are prayer stones, or people come and they leave messages or prayers and energy into the stones and then leave them on the the tombstones kind of thing, or on the actual grave area themselves. And we were like, oh, oh, that's cool. And we left, we're like, oh my God, we felt so bad. Because, well, I don't think anything innately bad was going to happen because our intentions were pure and we didn't know. But oh my God, are you kidding? Like, oh, we felt like shit. We were like, no. Um, so anyways, that always makes me laugh when I think about cemeteries and stuff. My hometown was across from a cemetery from the 1600s, one of the first in the US, and every year we used to have a carnival inside the cemetery and have lunch until my cousin Kevin broke her leg there. Ooh. Wow. So sweet, Heather. I thought he wanted them. Oh no, okay, what's happening? There's so many things. My son is always talking about spirit. He would see them all the time. We noticed it around the age of 4. Yeah, Heather has sent me some really cool videos of like her kids' toys just like going off. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Heather. Like her kids' toys just like going off and like it being on like a neutral, like you're supposed to. Anyways, Heather deals with that a lot. When I ran away from school, the nuns really, I ran to the cemetery to hide. It was a very safe place for me. Yeah. Yeah, I totally would sleep in a cemetery. Do you have to do it alone? Listen, you guys, I've done float spa sessions, okay? If I can get through being in the complete darkness for an hour and not feeling my body and literally feeling like I was out of my, like I was, you kind of feel like you're dead. You kind of feel like you're just like floating around in the cosmos and you don't ever know when or how you'll get back. And that might sound terrifying, but I feel like if I can deal with that and being in my own thoughts for a whole hour and feeling and thinking nothing else but what's going on internally, I think I can sleep in a cemetery. I think I can do it. Anyways, it's an hour and 40 minutes into it. We really didn't even go into chapter 6, but I kind of need to wrap up. And to be honest with you, I kind of grabbed on certain things I wanted to talk about with chapter 6 already, you know, about spirit and connecting and all that stuff and mental flexibility and all of that. I have to pee really bad and I want to draw a card and I want to keep going. So I hate to do this, but I drank a lot of water. I'm going to have to set you guys here. You're talking amongst yourselves beautifully. I'll try and be very, very quick. I'm really sorry, but I have to pee. So be right back. Cue the elevator music. Oh. I'm back. Oh my gosh, I lost some of you. Sorry about that. We're all in the living room watching a movie, and my youngest, who is 2, took off. He was sitting on the kitchen floor in the dark, talking baby talk to someone who we couldn't see. Cool. That was quick. Yeah, it was like the fastest I ever peed in my life. We have a child spirit here, a male energy and an older female energy as well. Cool. Alright, so you guys, I need to kind of wrap up. We have 15 minutes before we hit 2 hours. Okay, Amy, yeah, question for the group. Has anyone ever heard the voice of a loved one who is still alive but weren't even in the same area? What do you think that means? Ooh, that's a good question, Amy. There's been voices that I have heard where I've thought, it kind of sounds like that person, but then gone like, no, they're alive. You know, and then for a moment I'm like, oh my God, are they dead? Did they die? And I just didn't know like what's happening. But then, you know, it's not. But it has made me question. There's also this weird, so So yes, I've never quite known what that means. Yeah, I don't really know. Yes, my mom who lives in another state. Okay, so everybody else is saying that they have had that situation happen to them. I feel like if it has happened to me, I was very doubtful of if it was that person. What did I just say that would make Google go off? Did I say okay? Did you hear? Okay. Anyways, wait a minute, hold on. I think children connect more easily. Yeah, I agree, Donna. Sometimes I think maybe I'm randomly turning into that person's under. Ooh, that's a weird way to think about it. I like that. Oh my god, I'm reading a magazine and I just saw a bit on this. Oh, cool. Continuity, synchronicity. I have for me, they were answering a question I didn't even know I had. Oh, cool. It's more I get a feeling, a sense of urgency, or a need to contact that person. Something may not be right or something. That's a good way to think about it. It's called by location. I've never heard of that. We should look into that. Yeah. Oh, I just should've. Sorry. I would love to look into that. Heather, and now it's happening to my youngest. I'm so curious to see what he'll be like in a few years of spirit. Yeah. Cool. Um, all right. So I have not come up with another homework. So I want to collectively have you guys help me. We're going to do our daily pages again. If you want to continue, you can. If you don't, great. I'm going to continue doing it because I feel like it's really great. I'm going to still continue to try and give you guys daily inspirations on my Instagram story, but if anybody has any suggestions on what we can do for homework, that is cool. I'm up and willing to that. While you guys think and while you're commenting, our next reading is to finish the book. So we have 2 more chapters yet left. So we have chapters 7 and 8. It doesn't look like there's actually that much reading. Let's see. It goes from page 139 to page 191. So we'll be covering the last 2 chapters, and then we'll be done with the Witch's Shield, you guys. We'll have completed another book. And if you don't know already, I don't have the book out here, but our next book, if you want to get it already, if you already have it, great. If you don't want to get the book, but just so you know what we're doing next, we're doing what are we doing? The Kitchen Table Tarot by Melissa Sanova. So we are dabbling into tarot. We went into astrology before. We've been dealing with, we did protection. We've done green witch. We've done earth magic, shamanic things, witch's shields. But I would like to do a tarot section, and I adore the Kitchen Table Tarot. It's so funny. It's so easy. It's going to be such good conversation for us to talk about tarot, but not go crazy, deep. I mean, we might deep dive, but it's going to be more of a really lighthearted, nice way to connect with, pop culture and tarot and things of that nature. You're still going to get the learning basics. If you don't know anything about tarot, it's great. This is a great starter book. Or if you're a seasoned reader, it's a great book anyways, because it's hilarious and some of the connections she makes are great. So I'm very excited about that. We have 1 more week left with this book. So our final section is going to be chapters 7 and 8, which is the last. Not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to the Kitchen Table Tarot. Me too, Heather. I really want to reread it anyways, so that's great. So we're going to be reading 7 and 8, and we're going to be finishing next week. Our one homework is to do daily pages. What else? What do you guys want to do? Let's come up with an assignment. What are you guys' suggestion? I'm excited. Learned so much from the astrology one. You're a great teacher. Thanks, Naughty Angel Girl. I'm so glad. I feel very insecure, actually, for whatever reason, about the way I approached my astrology. But I'm glad it's up. I'm glad you guys did it. I've been afraid of tarot. Why? No, nothing about tarot. Looking forward to it. Awesome, Paper Bits. Yeah, don't be afraid of tarot. It can seem very overwhelming. To me, astrology is way more overwhelming. And we got through that. We got through it. Don't be afraid. It's really fun. I promise I will make it fun. I promise we will, you know, we're going to have to go pretty quickly through things too, though. So there's, you know, I'm not going to be able to, I don't want to spend more than 5 weeks on the book because we've been getting through books in about 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. And I kind of want to stick to that. So we are going to be, you know, sectioning off that book in quite big sections, but good, you're all in. That's what I like to hear. It'll be fun. It's really, honestly, I feel like we're going to have some really great conversations with it. Any homework suggestions? Are you all piping up like, I don't want homework. I don't want homework. No, I'm trying to think, like, maybe we don't. Maybe we need just, maybe we take a week off from that and we just continue with our daily pages and do what we need to. What do you guys think? Let me know. Did I miss any homework assignments? We're trying to come up with one right now, unless we just want to take a week and just do the daily pages. Yeah, loving daily. Good, Imogen. Thanks so much. I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm loving it so much. So maybe we just, let's play hooky. Do you have the tarot deck paper bits? We could journal about how we go about protecting ourselves every day. That would be good. That would be good. I don't know if I consciously am protecting myself every day. Maybe that's something I need to look into. I think just the journaling is enough. It's really opened up my mind. I like that, Amy. Okay, so let's do that. Let's play hooky, right? Let's just do our homework and continue with these daily pages. If you want to focus some of your daily pages or journaling around sections in the book or about protection and how you feel you're protected, that can be one of our, you know, inspirations, our daily inspiration. So let's just take it easy on ourselves this next week and continue, or start if you haven't started, or if you don't like it, you didn't do it, then you get a week off. Like I said in the beginning of this, you don't ever have to do it. It's just there for you. I like doing activities. I feel like it gives me an added layer of connectivity to it. I am gonna shuffle. Somebody else said something about, I think, my float spot. Did I miss something? I thought someone said something about my float spot. Ever since seeing your float spot experience, I want to do it. I get questions and emails about that. I just got an email. We could also journal about how we've gone with the flow this week. Oh yeah, that would be really good. Looking up Mercury retrograde if you know nothing about it. Thinking about what we talked about with mental flexibility. Yeah, so let's just do our daily pages and maybe have a little bit more specific things. Like, you're coming up with really great ones, Amy, and maybe use those for our daily page inspiration. Thanks. That's my sad elevator music. Do. That was for when I peed. Okay, so let's pull a card, and again, I'm just going to keep it real simple. I'm just going to read you from the guidebook. I'm already 2 hours into a live stream, so we're just going to pull a card, see what we get, read what the guidebook has to say. This deck is magical to me, and I haven't used it in so long, and I'm so excited. And I'm going to leave you guys for the day. Let's just take a second here and see what we got going on. Hard with these angle that I'm sitting at to shuffle this up well. I just dropped so many cards on the floor, but I had already picked my one card, so it's okay. That's too many messages, okay? We need to rein it in with the one card. I'm sitting on this really weird. So I got Loyal Heart. Look how pretty this card is. Look at how sweet. Okay, I really like this card. This is so pretty. Okay, I dropped so many cards down there. Well, she is a Gemini, so 2 hours is decent for Sammy. I'm sure she could go way longer. 2 hours, it's fine. Yeah, you guys know me. It literally felt like 2 minutes. 2 hours went by. I bet you I could stream for like 12 hours and be fine. You would just have to have some dead air elevator music while I peed. So we got Loyal Heart. Let's see what it says for us in here. 36. We have 35. Loyal Heart. Ow, my ear is like... Sorry. It feels like there's pressure in my ear. What deck is this? Oh, sorry. I already mentioned it, but I can mention it again. This is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. It was one of my very first Oracle decks that I bought for myself, and I really liked it. I used it all the time, and I don't anymore. And I think it's just because I have like on deck overload. But this says, the essential meaning is fidelity, loyalty, and devotion. The message says, evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove that they are faithful to you, and you will in turn commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that spirit is always loyal to you. Oh, I feel like this is coming to me, particularly with saying that my grandpa's not around me. I know that he is around me. I just don't feel him in the same sense. Anyways, think about this in however you feel like this might connect to you. No matter the outer circumstance in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected, and divinely directed. I love that. Let's read that again. No matter the outer circumstance in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected, and divinely directed. That's so good for what we were talking about today. This is so sweet. And then there's a relationship message, a prosperity message, and a protection message. Let's read the protection message. I feel like the protection message is here more so if you get this in a reversal sense, but because we're reading a book about protection, let's just have this be food for thought. I did not pull this in a reversal sense, and some people don't read reversals anyways, but let's read this little section just to see what it has, okay? Are you stubborn or overly tenacious about an idea? You guys! Or have you become so attached to something that you just don't know how to let it go? Could it be that it's become such a part of you that you wouldn't know who or what you are without it? Now is the time to look at outdated beliefs, old ideas, and misplaced loyalties. Betrayal is only a signal that it is time to prune away all who don't deserve your trust and have no place in your life. Be new, think new, and open your heart to new things. Let go of the old and all your attachments. Spirit has awesome plans for you. Make some room. I love that. This is also very, again, along the lines of work to do to and during a Mercury retrograde. Go within, revalue, revisit, reconstruct. This is good. Trying to control situations, knowing that spirit is there for you always. Hey, Fees, come here. You want to say goodbye to everyone? All right, but never mind. See ya. She could not be bothered. Anyways, this is such a cute card and a really sweet message to kind of wrap up things we were talking about already and to kind of set us forth with like a really proactive, loving energy. This deck is super sweet and I like it. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I did. Again, I will put the homework in the description box below. Our reading sections is to finish this book. We will be starting the week after in our new book. As always, feel free to DM me, email me, write in the comments below if you're watching the playback or you have more to say or you want to engage with me more. I'm always here for you. I might not get back to you right away, but I try my very, very best to reply to everybody and to connect with you because that's what this is all about. Before you go, please give this live stream a thumbs up. If you feel it in your heart or need to share my channel or my videos with anybody else, I would love that. It makes this all worth it. Again, I love you all very, very much. And I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful, magical day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I can't reach the button.